Welcome back to Pints and Punditry, where today we're going to talk about Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel and just how many more chances he's going to get to right the ship after yesterday's 2-1 loss to Southampton. Let's dive in. So yesterday was not a good day for Chelsea. They lost 2-1 to Southampton, and listen, Southampton's not a terrible team, but that's a team that Chelsea should beat, particularly with all of the resources that they have, and their continually growing stable of incoming players. They're just throwing money around as this transfer window comes to an end, like there's an endless supply of it, and perhaps there is. And that's not going to bode well for Thomas Tuchel if they don't right this ship. They now have 7 points through 5 games. That's not going to get it done for Chelsea, who has certainly top 4 Champions League aspirations, if not winning the whole league. And this is now going on year 3 of Thomas Tuchel underachieving, or more specifically, players underachieving under Tuchel's guidance and under his managerial tenure at Chelsea. And, you know, it's not just that he's not a good coach. He obviously is a good coach. But has he worn out his welcome, or what's going on there exactly to make these players continually underachieve? And I don't know that I know the answer, but frankly, I'm not sure the answer matters. Tuchel he's got to be one of the most unlikable coaches to play for, to support, to watch. Chelsea fans, I'm genuinely curious. Do you like Thomas Tuchel as a coach? Do you want him to continue to be your coach? Do you want him to succeed? How do you feel about him? Leave me some comments. Hit me up on Twitter at TotalFIFACM. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't while we're at it. I find him to be just madly unlikable. And this is not a case of, I don't like a coach who coaches a team I don't support. You know, I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers in the world. I think Antonio Conte is doing wonderful things at Tottenham. He's a very good coach. There's plenty of good coaches out there. Thomas Tuchel's just a baby. And the comments after the game are the sort of thing that are really going to get him in trouble. He made some comments about his team about how it's not hard to beat them right now. And they're not playing tough. They're playing soft. You know, I got to tell you, Tommy boy, these are the things the coach is supposed to control and have some effect over. Teams reflect their coach's attitude and mentality. You know, Chelsea lost to Leeds. Well, Leeds is playing with a fire under their ass because Jesse Marsch lives life with a fire lit under his ass. Now, that has a shelf life, but man, for now it is working. Thomas Tuchel has a little bit of that in him. He's very fiery, he's very outspoken, animated, and there's plenty of managers like that, a lot of the best managers. But his just seems to be bratty and petulant, and I can't imagine the players respond well to it. Now, winning solves a lot of things, and he came in mid-year a few years ago and won a Champions League, and that's going to buy him a lot more time, but I'm genuinely questioning how much. And the sheer volume of money spent on players who have then gone on to underachieve is just staggering. Timo Werner, now back in the Bundesliga and having success. Romelu Lukaku, who, there were dressing room problems, but also he didn't fit the style of play. And at what point is it your responsibility to adjust your style of play to your really expensive, really talented players like Romelu Lukaku? Christian Pulisic can't get off the bench. Hakim Ziyech is not achieving the things they hoped, and he might be heading back to Ajax. Kai Havertz has been all right, but he's not exactly setting the world on fire. Raheem Sterling off to a slow start. Maybe you can't blame Tuchel for that, but he's not playing in his best suited way out left wide position because they play more of a 1-3 at the top. I mean, it's just the track record of particularly offensive players not meeting their full potential under Tuchel is getting to be a fairly deep roster, and I'm sure there's others that I forgot. At what point do we put this back on the manager? And I've done some videos talking about this before, but when you couple that and a slow start to the season like they've had with really petulant comments about your players coming out of the dressing room, that's not a good combination. And that's not a combination that's going to lead to them wanting to play harder for you. Calling your players soft is not going to make them want to play harder. And those are the things that a coach is supposed to have some control over. So he's really just indicting himself and the team's lack of preparation. He made some comments about their lack of focus. That's on the coach. If the team comes in not focused, well then what? I got to take a look at your training. I got to take a look at your practices and why they're not focused and why they're not prepared for a team like Southampton, who again has some talent but was beatable. So it seems like Tuchel is really shooting himself in the foot, particularly with some of the post-game comments and antics that have taken place this year. Again, he'd get away with them if they were winning, but they're not, and they haven't met expectations. You've got a new ownership group who inherited him and is spending a lot of money, and thus far has not seen anything to make them believe that he's going to be the guy to get them the return on the investment that they want. So I'm not sitting here calling for Thomas Tuchel to be fired, but I am genuinely questioning if he's that good of a manager and if he's the right guy for Chelsea. And it sure feels after some games like this that he is not going to get a huge leash. So it'll be really interesting to watch. And frankly, I'm tired of watching him on the sideline, on the technical area, because he's not a guy I want to root for, even as a neutral. Am I off base? Am I wrong? Am I right? Particularly Chelsea fans, chime in, please. Leave some comments below. Tell me I'm biased. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. I want to see what you're feeling about this. And maybe I'm just making stuff up, but I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I want to know if you're seeing it too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Follow us on Twitter at TotalFIFACM. Thank you for joining us on Pints and Punditry here at Total FIFA Career Mode.